time heals all wounds. I'm not so sure about that. So I was on a walk this morning. I was listening to a book on tape, and the author read, "Time heals all wounds." And I was like, but does it? So I think we all know the person who has had a life lesson or something really difficult happen to them, and they become a victim or a martyr, or they get filled with resentment and bitterness, or they spend the rest of their life seeking revenge. And so I'm not sure time heals all wounds unless you have the magical conversation of, how might I take the time to transmute my pain into good? Now, that is a purposeful, conscious question that I think that we can all ask when we are served up a life lesson. And I'll give you a classic example, and I'm just going to be real personal, but I've been speaking for 30 years. And a little over a decade ago, I gave one of the worst keynotes I've ever given. In fact, it was so bad that the audience members, well, apparently it was really bad for the audience members, because they wrote in their survey, "We will never hire her again." And I was like, oh, ouch. And it was painful. It was a big wound. I questioned whether I was even in the right business, and I was embarrassed, and I felt shame, and I felt ick, and it brought out the worst in me for a couple days. And then I realized, wait a minute, I need to do something with this feedback, not just ruminate on it, but now I need to take action and decide, how am I going to transmute this pain into something good? And I realized that I wasn't as confident in my storytelling as I needed to be. I gave a message that was not aligned with where the audience was at. It might have been a message that they needed, but it certainly wasn't wanted. And so I learned how to reconstruct and reframe my keynotes in a much more effective way. And that's the beauty of transmuting your pain into good. You become a bigger, better player for a bigger, better impact in the world. And now it's good for you, it's good for others, and it's good for the world. And that is a trifecta that has a major exponential benefit in so many ways. And so obviously we don't want to repeat the same lesson over and over again, but I'm not sure we want to stop the lessons from arriving in our lives, because they can teach us so much when we consciously choose to take that pain and say, how might I transmute it into good? So yeah, I'm not sure time heals all wounds, but I know that as leaders of our lives and leaders of all those that we care about, when we take the time to say, how might I transmute this into good, we all benefit. From my heart to yours, hugs.